welcome back to the garden. It is towards the end of July here and it is absolutely starting to show. We had a super wet, rainy spring here and that just made blight kind of go crazy in my tomato plants. And then we followed all of that rain through May and June with an incredibly hot, steamy July, which just one, worsened the blight, and then two, just kind of made the garden look a little bit sad. It hasn't quite had enough water this July. It's had tremendous amounts of high heat, and it's just really the time of the year where we have a lot of pests here in Southwest Missouri, Zone 6B. So my squash and zucchini are pretty much all gone, thanks to squash bugs and vine borers. My green beans have given me several harvests and they are ready to come out of the garden. A huge amount of my tomatoes had just really been taken over by blight. They're gonna come out as well. Not every single tomato, don't worry, I still have lots of canning ahead of me, but a big chunk of them are gonna go. And I have a few beds that I can empty, some because I just honestly didn't take good care of them this year and they have become overrun with weeds, and some because it's time to get those spring vegetables out so that we can make room for a fall succession of planting. It is always so hard for me to do this in my garden just because I really put so much time and effort and thought into the plants that I want to grow, especially the tomatoes. They should have lasted me until frost, but sometimes disease happens, and this is a real garden in a real place, and we get disease and we get pests here just like anywhere else. And so I want to be honest with you. I want to show you the real and the raw, the things that may be happening in your garden as well, and what we can do about them. Because could I leave those in my garden and I could still probably harvest some tomatoes from them throughout the year? Absolutely, I could. The top of them still looks healthy. The bottom, like 3/4 or more, is pretty much completely dead with early and late blight. But I could still get a few tomatoes from them. But instead, I'm choosing to tear them out because I still have time here in my zone. Our average last frost date is October 20th, October 15th, somewhere around there. Last year we didn't frost well into November though. And so typically I still have time for a lot of things to grow. I'm gonna go in today with my fall planting as well. I'm gonna be throwing in a new batch of green beans, more cucumbers. I'm gonna be putting in squash and zucchini. I'm going in with carrots. So I still have plenty of time, maybe even like if I can find a winter squash that can be done in about 90 days. I still have a lot of time here for a lot of growing season. We are so lucky and we have a really long growing season here. So before it gets hot, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We are just gonna rip this garden out. The first thing I am gonna start with is this row of green beans. Now, if you look, there are still lots of beans on these plants. So when I pull them, they are not going straight to my compost pile. They are gonna be set aside for actually probably my kids to clean these plants and get all of the beans off of there because we want to use every bit of produce that we can.
All your green beans out?
Yeah. I can hear my chickens asking for breakfast, and I have a sunflower head here that is ready to harvest. Of course, I don't have any scissors out here with me. See if I can get it off. Got it. These, once they die back like this, you can just pull all those leaves off and rub on them. And then I have the perfect treat for a little snack for my chickens. They're also just ready for breakfast though. Seven eggs this morning. Before I start taking all of these tomatoes out, I am going to take off all of the tomatoes that are still good to eat and any green ones as well, because I still use these to make like a tomatillo style salsa, and I don't want anything to go to waste. Now these tiny green cherries, you could pickle these. I personally don't love pickled tomatoes, so I'm just throwing those down. I'm not going to worry about those. Now, because these tomatoes are really sick, when I pull them out, they are not going in my compost pile. I don't want that blight to breed there and continue getting into my garden, although kind of once it's in an area, you're going to struggle with it. So I may need to rethink about my garden layout next year and where I have my tomatoes. But I'm just going to make a pile of these, and then I'm going to throw them over the fence when I'm finished. This is what a tomato with late blight looks like. You can see that all of my leaves are completely dead. The color in the stalk goes from, if I even have any healthy green on it left, I really don't, but it goes from a normal healthy green, and then it starts turning this mottled brown color, and then eventually the whole stalk turns brown as well. This row is cleared. I did leave this one tomato plant, although now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing some signs that it really doesn't need to stay either, but I left it because it has some large, healthy looking tomatoes on it still. So I would love to get those at least blushed before I pull this plant out, because as you can see, it is just as unhealthy as the rest. My kids have Bible school this morning, so I need to go in the house and wake them up and get them some breakfast before they leave. And then I'm going to be back out here for just a short bit of time because I have to go to work today. So this is all going to have to wait. I still have so much to do out here. I feel like I haven't even gotten very much done yet. Still lots of tomatoes to pull, beds to clear, and then we have planting to do. So we're going to be working in the sun and the heat today. We're going to stay hydrated, and we are going to get through it because these things have to be done. That fall garden has to be planted. Next up is this kale. I have been out here picking and picking and picking all of the worms off, but you can just tell they have went to town. I am gonna replant this kale for fall to have a nice new healthy batch anyways, so this bug-eaten stuff is going to come out. Bonus points is that I'm gonna feed it to my chickens, and they will be absolutely thrilled to eat all of these little worms on here. And then this empty section of the trellis that never filled out, I can plant on it back here. And whatever I plant will not be shaded out by these kale, so it should thrive. Let's go make my chickens extremely happy. It looks like we are going to be having some baby beets for dinner tonight. One good sized beet. I don't know what my deal is with my beets this year. I have to go to work for several hours and then I will be back, but I'm not going to film at that point because it is going to be incredibly hot out here and my phone just gets hot so fast. So I will meet you back here this evening. You're going to come back to even more bed clearing finished, and we are going to put in our seeds for our fall garden. So I will see you back here tonight. In the spirit of being completely honest with you guys, because that's something that I told myself I would always do if I was going to start this channel, is to be honest. I had full intentions of being in this garden all afternoon once I got off of work. But telling myself I'm going to work out in the hot sun all day clearing beds sounds really great when it's 8 o'clock in the morning and 75 degrees. When I get off of work and it's 2 o'clock and it's 97 degrees and the sun is blaring hot, that doesn't sound good at all, and I just could not talk myself into getting out here and working. So it's now 8 o'clock at night. I've been out here for about an hour clearing beds. Definitely not going to get done what I had hoped, and I am covered in mosquito bites, but I did get a lot done, and I'm going to go ahead and plant at least a few of the areas that I have cleared out, so I can get some seeds in the ground at least. I will be back here in the morning working hard to try and get the rest finished, because I do want this garden to be full and lush come fall season, so I can just have a continued harvest. But what I did get today is this truck full of soil. Now, I probably told you in the past, I am not a Miracle-Gro fan. I think that it can be full of stuff that I don't actually want in my food. But I'm so excited to tell you that I have an upcoming collaboration with Vago Garden, and I am going to have 4 new raised beds to fill that I am going to use for my, something's crawling on my foot, that I am going to use for my fall brassicas, and I needed some way to fill those, and I thought I'm just gonna go check out my local stores and see if they have any compost or any soil on clearance, because it is coming towards the end of gardening season. And I found this organic Miracle-Gro potting mix for $2 a bag when it's originally 10, and I purchased the whole pallet. Now, is it exactly what I want? No. Is it still gonna grow healthy, nutritious food that's better than anything I could buy from the store? Yes. Is it organic? Yes. That's not something I have ever looked for in soils before. And I wasn't looking for it this time either, but I do like seeing that on there. I don't even know what that means for soil. I'm sure there's still plenty of things that they can use in there that I don't actually want in my body. But I'm not gonna turn down $2 bag of soil if it means that I can continue to grow awesome food in my garden on a budget, because I have a large family and that's important to me, is doing this on a budget. And so I got all the soil. I have a few beds that I do need to top off, so I'm going to do that really quickly before I start planting. I started this irrigation and never finished it, but that is going to happen in the next week or so. I'm out of breath. So I am going to lay these in here and plant along them to keep my fall seeds watered, especially because it's so hot this time of the year. Like I said, in this first bed, I am going in with the purple whole pea bush bean. This says it produces buttery, soft textured beans that are great fresh, even better used as a dry bean in soups, stews, and even plain boiled. I have 3 packets here. I doubt I'm going to need all of them, but that is what's going in this very first bed. And it unfortunately is already getting dark out here, so I'm going to show you this one, and then I'm going to have to turn my camera off. But I'm going to keep working, so we'll catch back up here in the morning. Look how absolutely beautiful the garden is this time of night. Look at all those seeds in there. Good morning. We are back out here again. It is a beautiful morning so far, and we are going to go ahead and get started planting right away. We're going to start out with Blue Lake green beans, and I am going to put them in the same place they were for my spring harvest. I'm going to fill up 10 buckets worth. Bush beans are a really great plant to put in your fall succession. They have a really quick days to maturity of like 55 to 60 days. So they don't need long to give you a great harvest. And in these 10 buckets worth, I'll have enough to can multiple jars. And so it's just a really great way to very quickly and easily stock your pantry. These last 5 buckets are going to be, again, same thing that they were for spring, squash and zucchini. This time I'm going in with some Black Beauty zucchini. This seed is old, like, I don't even know, at least 5 to 7 years old. So I'm going to sow multiple of them because I'm not sure if it will germinate still. This is how many I have left. I will probably just throw all of those in there and see what happens. Obviously, if they do all germinate, which they may, I'll just thin those out. Next, I'm going to go in with just some straight neck yellow squash, some Genovese summer squash, Golden Glory zucchini, and a chiffon squash.
Squash and zucchini, just like green beans, are another great seed to plant a fall succession of. They have a fast days to maturity, 50 to 60 days as well, and you don't have as many pests this time of the year, which is great.
Alright, that was easy. Squash and zucchini are planted. Along this trellis that I just cleared out, I am going to go in with a mixture of things. We're going to do some cucumber, we're going to do some winter squash, and that is kind of an experiment. I have about 90-ish, maybe a little bit more days until my average last frost, and these are all 90-day varieties. Now, the reason it's an experiment is because going into fall, you're going to have shorter day lengths, and so when you plant for fall, if something has 90 days to maturity, then typically you would add 1 to 2 weeks to that. So it would be more like 104 days until maturity. So I'm not exactly sure that these are going to completely ripen on the vine. But if not, I think that hopefully they'll at least be mature enough. I can bring them inside and let them ripen there. But sometimes we also have like a really late frost, and so that's what I am hoping and praying for this year. But the winter squash I'm going to do is a new variety called Kai Kai Hybrid. I'm going to do some honey babies, and I'm going to do some winter luxury pumpkins. I'm also going to do one really small Kajari melon. I tried this on my trellis, and I don't know what took it out, if it was the cucumber beetles or who knows what happened to it, but it didn't ever grow. And so I'm going to try this again on this trellis over here, and then I'm going in with multiple varieties of cucumbers. I have the Ashley cucumber, the Armenian yard long, Suyo long, the Dar, the straight 8s, pick a bushel, honey plus, and Rhinish. So I'm going to pack a lot onto this trellis. I think I'll be able to fit all of these, but we will, I guess we will see. Next task is to clear the edge of this bed. This is where I had onions planted, and it has kind of filled back in with some grass and weeds. So I am going to get all of this cleared of weeds, and then I'm going to go in with some Thai soldier long beans here. These are a bush bean. I just put my hand right in bird poop. Gross. These are a bush bean that I have never tried before, but they look really pretty, and I saw some reviews on them that looked excellent, and so I want to try these. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in the garden for the last 2 days. I'm going to be completely honest, I am so proud of myself because every single year I have intentions of starting a fall garden. But by the time July comes, it is hot and I have been working nonstop preserving food and I'm just burnt out and it doesn't happen. So while I am getting it in about 2 to 3 weeks later than I would have liked to or would have been best for my area, the seeds are in the ground. Like, I did the thing. And I'm so thankful for you guys being here along with me along this journey because you have given me the motivation to just push through, to keep going through the burnout and to grow another succession of food, to feed my family, to stock my pantry, to stock my freezer, to fill my jars. And I am just incredibly thankful and full of gratitude that you guys are here along this journey with me. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here for the whole thing. Make sure to leave me some love in the comments below and check back in just a few more days for another video from the garden. Until I see you next time, may God bless.